JBNN will keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Before we get into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share the news with someone today. Now on to the news. Businessman taken into custody following seizure of gun and $54,000. The Portland police, along with members of the military, seized one Glock pistol, 66 9mm rounds of ammunition, over 20 million Jamaican dollars, and over $54,000 during an operation in Buff Bay in the parish on Saturday. The success of the operation was with the assistance of Specialized Operations, the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, the Area Fugitive Apprehension Team, and the K9 Division. One businessman was taken into custody in relation to the seizure. Investigation continues. Human skeletal remains discovered in St. Catherine community. An investigation is underway to identify human remains found in a St. Catherine community on Saturday. At about 9:15 a.m., passers-by reportedly stumbled on the skeletal remains in a section of Cromartie and summoned the police. The police responded, and on arrival, they saw what appeared to be human remains in partially burnt-out bushes in a section of the community. The scene was processed, and the remains moved for further examination. The Spanish Town police are investigating. 21 murders recorded in St. Anne since the start of the year. The St. Anne police have recorded 2 murders between Friday and Sunday. These incidents have brought the total number of murders in the parish to 21 when compared to 12 in the corresponding period last year. The most recent murder is that of an unidentified elderly male whose body was found around 6:42 a.m. in Runaway Bay. Reports are that residents stumbled upon the body and alerted the police. The body had what appeared to be a gunshot wound to the head. Another male was also found with a gunshot wound to the head in Prairie St. Anne on Friday evening. The deceased has been identified as Kevin Lee, a truck driver of Jacksontown, Trelawney. According to reports, residents heard explosions sometime after 6:10 p.m. and summoned the police, and the Lee's body was found. Investigations are ongoing in both incidents. Police make multi-billion-dollar cocaine bust. The narcotics police made a multi-billion-dollar drug bust at a seaport in Kingston on Wednesday. More than 1,000 pounds of cocaine with an estimated street value of 3.1 billion Jamaican dollars was seized in a joint operation conducted by the Jamaica Customs Agency and the Firearms and Narcotics Investigation Division, FNID. The cocaine was disguised as Cuban honey. The illicit drug was discovered during the security check of a 20-foot container which contained 18 knitted bags with approximately 450 parcels of cocaine weighing a total of 1,183 pounds or 538.8 kilograms. Since the start of the year, approximately 1,688 pounds or 765.8 kilograms of cocaine have been seized in operations carried out by the FNID and its partners. Senior Superintendent of Police Samuel Blake, head of the FNID, stated that this seizure reflects the team's ongoing vigilance and the enhanced operational efforts of both local and international stakeholders in intercepting drugs and firearms. No one was arrested, but the police say they are following strong leads. FNID investigators are appealing to anyone with information that can assist in the investigations to contact FNID at 876-923-5729, the National Intelligence Bureau at 811, Crime Support 311, or the nearest police station. Portmore man before court for alleged fake driver's license. A Portmore man who allegedly presented a fake driver's license to the police in a traffic stop is set to reappear in the St. Catherine Parish Court on April 25. 38-year-old Mariana Oliver of Gregory Park, Portmore, St. Catherine, is before the court on a charge of uttering forged document. He pleaded not guilty when he appeared before Senior Parish Court Judge Desiree Lane on Friday. He explained that a relative assisted him with upgrading his license and he was not aware that it was fake. Bail was granted in the sum of $200,000 on condition that he reports to the Caymanas police station on Tuesdays. It is alleged that about 1 p.m. on March 24, Oliver, who was driving a Toyota Hiace motor truck, committed a traffic breach along Burke Road, Spanish Town in St. Catherine. He was stopped and he obeyed a request to present his documents. During the perusal of his documents, the police found that his driver's license had been forged. The accused was taken into custody on suspicion of uttering forged documents. He was subsequently charged following a question and answer session. Pearnel Charles Arcade again affected by fire.
Robert Hill, CEO of KCMC. I was alerted by the superintendent of fire for the parish of Kingston and St. Andrew, Jamaica Fire Brigade, that there was a fire here at the Pearnel Charles Arcade. The call came in at 1:18 p.m. today, Sunday, March 30th. So we're on scene now. I am joined by the Vice Chairman of the Commercial Services Committee of the KCNC, Councillor Sarah Marshall. I'm also joined by the City Inspector and members of the City Inspectorate team.
All right, just tell me what you heard after now, what you observed.
Unfortunately, the Pearnel Charles Arcade again has been impacted by a fire months after one occurred late October. So unfortunately another fire occurred here at the Pearnel Charles Arcade just months after one occurred here in late 2024. This is confined to another section of the arcade where some stalls were on fire. I believe that about 4 units from the fire brigade have attended with several members of the fire brigade who have put the fire under control, and they're now doing cooling down operations as well as assessing initial damage. We can see amongst and around us that there are several stall holders, vendors that are here clearing out their areas, and we are joined by the police, supported by the JCF. So things are basically under control. People are observing, people are moving, and there's a bit of chaos as you would expect, as fires characteristically are, but it is quite unfortunate. Standard operating procedure. We are going to await the outcome of the fire investigation, the initial outcome. We're going to have a meeting led by His Worship the Mayor, the heads of the Commercial Services Unit, along with my administrative team. With the members of the arcade, they already have a structure in place with a president and an executive and so on. So we'll be meeting with them to conduct a walkthrough and an assessment. Again, I'd like to reiterate that our insurance coverage does not cover contents, but rather the structure and the building. So those things will have to be discussed as well.
All right, and finally, we don't know how many persons were affected by this.
I am not yet sure. I'm not yet sure.
I'm Acting Superintendent Barrington Marshall from the York Park Fire Station.
Right, can you just tell me what is happening here?
At present, we have received a call of building and fire, Pearnel Charles Arcade. We responded with 2 units. When we got here, we realized that the magnitude of the fire require a number of units. So additional units were brought in, and we have attacked the fire. We have not yet found the seat of the fire. So firefighting operation still continues as we speak.
Of course, it's early days to say the estimate of the fire, cause of the fire.
We have not yet determined an estimate at this time.
Where was the fire contained?
Just numerous stalls within the building, and we have not yet found the seat of the fire. So we are still fighting the fire at this present time.
It's very important that we all take care of our mental health. Good mental health, mental wellness impacts on and will affect how we live within our family, interact with family members. When we enjoy good mental wellness, it impacts on how we function in school, function at the workplace, relate to members in our community, members at church, and the wider society. So it's very important for us to enjoy mental wellness. There are some important things that we need to do. First of all, take care of ourselves. Self-care is important. It's also important for us to establish high value, healthy social connections. Yes? What we find is that people who live longer, live healthier on a daily basis are people who invest in good social relationships, with your family, with your friends, people at school, people at the workplace, people in your community of faith. So it's so important for us to find time to invest and to interact with people. It's also important for us to recognize that you know, mental illness can affect anyone in the community, anyone in our family, and that when we're not doing well, it's so important for us to seek help very early. I know we live in a society where there's a lot of negative attitudes, high level of stigma towards mental health and mental illness, but it's so important for us to, when we're having problems, when we're having difficulty, be it not sleeping well, or struggling at the workplace, difficulty studying at school, or problems relating with others around us, indicate that we're having some mental health challenges, yes? And when these things are happening to us, it's important for us to seek professional help early. And in seeking professional help, it's so important that we choose people who are adequately trained, because there are lots of people who are out there practicing who are not adequately trained, and they can give us wrong advice, treat us in inappropriate ways. We're also living in a world, you know, post-pandemic, after the pandemic, where we've seen a surge in mental health problems, especially among young people. Depression, suicidal ideation, problems adjusting to school and so on. And we're seeing it, you know, based on the number of persons who are, young people who are coming forward for help. And what I want to advise parents, family members, teachers, and so on, to recognize that our young people are having mental health challenges, and when they present, let us listen to them, respond to them in a non-judgmental manner, and most importantly, encourage them to seek help very early. It's very important, you know, because too many young people have found that they have not been able to achieve their goals in studying or career goals because of mental illness and not having gotten treatment early in their illness. So I encourage us, you know, encourage our young people, support them to seek help when it's necessary.
JBN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.